welcome to CFC Fan TV. I'm actually joined by Rory.
Hello, it's been a long time since I've been in this studio.
And we're together, which is always good. I know you guys like us together. Okay, we're going to go through the 5 things that need to happen right now. Right, Rory, number 1.
I think the first thing that needs to happen, I mean, I've been getting a lot of grief for saying this, but it has to be this. Antonio Conte needs to leave the club now. There is no point in him hanging around. We gain nothing from it. We saw in the performance against West Ham that there's no urgency there. There's no passion there. There's no desire to win the game. He's just not the man for the job at the moment. And as things stand, we have absolutely no chance of winning the FA Cup, and I'm desperate to win that.
Which is crazy, seeing as we're playing Southampton, who are about to get, I mean relegated, if anything.
Well,
which is sad, but
well, this is it. You've got to look at it now and think there's no guarantees that we beat Southampton. The way that things are currently standing, there is no guarantee that we beat Southampton at all. And we'll go out in the semi-final against a team that are probably going to be relegated. We need to make a change. It can't be like this. We really do need to focus, get the FA Cup. Like, if we can end the season with a cup, it would be a wonderful...
But it'd be crazy, wouldn't it, to think that we've actually won a trophy
in such a disastrous season.
Yeah, and it is a disastrous season. And I think the point of having a manager is that they give the team, a bit of guidance, a bit of the boost morale. Conte's not running down the touchline area anymore. He's not jumping into the crowd. He clearly just doesn't really want the job anymore.
He doesn't want to be there. And I think that the only reason he is there is because of finances. Like, Chelsea don't want to sack him because it costs him a fortune. He doesn't want to walk away because he'll lose a fortune. So everybody's sitting tight. Yeah. But the only people suffering now are us.
Fans, yeah.
Because we have absolutely no chance of winning that FA Cup. The real final is actually the other semi-final.
Yeah.
That's the real final.
Yeah.
Whoever wins that will be thinking that they are, they're a shoo-in to win the FA Cup. So we really do need to make something change now to have any hope of getting something out of this season.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, then, point 2. We feel as if the youth should be given a chance. I mean, we've got all these meaningless games towards the end of the season, which they are meaningless now because we're not going to get top 4. I mean, unless some strike of lightning and miracle comes down, it's just not going to happen. And we should do, because if I'm being honest, I don't blame the players for being slightly unmotivated, because there just isn't anything to play for now. We've had a bad season, but I do feel like if you bring some of the youth on, they may actually do a slightly better job based on the fact that they actually want to prove they have something to prove, they have something to play for, and that is basically getting their name out there and showing that they can play first team football.
Absolutely, Soph. I couldn't agree more. I think that this is actually reminiscent of what happened a couple of years ago when we had a terrible campaign. We ended up finishing 10th, and it was it was a doldrums, wasn't it? It was when Hiddink was in charge, and it just really didn't go well. And I think that we made a massive mistake towards the end of that season. We were constantly playing players like Alexandre Pato and players who were going to gain nothing. They weren't going to do us any favours in the long run. And it's quite rare for a club like Chelsea to have dead games. It's quite rare that you can play a game at Stamford Bridge and it not mean anything. And in a way, I mean, I'm really kind of putting a positive spin on it, but in a way, it's a bit of a gift. You have some dead fixtures. We're going to go to Southampton. They're going to be fighting for their lives next week. They're going to be so up for it. And it means nothing to us. It means absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
so we can use that opportunity to give people a go. There are a lot of players knocking on the door. The obvious one is Hudson-Odoi. How he's doing.
Fans are really, really impressed with this season.
Well, it's ridiculous. I just don't understand how we're not giving him a chance now, because the Premier League means nothing to us. It makes what's the difference now between we're going to finish somewhere between 5th and 7th? What difference does it make? You're not in the Champions League. You are in the Europa League. If you're not in the Europa League, I doubt the club care anyway. I want to be in that, in fact, do you want to be in that? How do you feel about? Are you desperate to secure our place in the Europa League? Yeah. Are you?
I mean, I will say, I went to the fixture in Amsterdam about when we won it, and when you're actually, it wasn't probably till the final where everyone was really, really pumped up for it and really wanted to win it. It's just a serious trophy in a way. It's you're another European trophy.
And it's entry into the Champions League as well.
Exactly, like, it is important. I think people just need the extra motivation to get into it. Is it the end of the world if we don't make it into the Europa League? I mean, no, but I mean, come on, like, we're Chelsea Football Club. We have to finish as high in the table as possible. That's the way I see it. So, yeah, I mean, the youth thing, it's a huge deal, because you see our problems with transfers. Even if we brought through one half-decent youth player in the next sort of 5 years, it will save us one bad bit of business.
So get Hudson-Odoi in the starting lineup at the Dell, or whatever it's called now.
Okay, next we need to make sure that we prioritise the FA Cup. If anything.
No, we absolutely have to. It's
pretty self-explanatory.
And this one is very linked to point one. Earlier in this video, we mentioned that we need Antonio Conte to leave the club now, and the motivation and desire for him to leave now is so that we have a chance of winning the FA Cup. Because at the moment, we aren't winning it.
Yeah, I mean, don't hate us for saying that he needs to leave. Needing and wanting him to is two different things. But he no longer wants to be here. It's a bit like having somebody with all that talent, but they don't really want the job, so it's a bit pointless, you know.
I know it's just no good. And do you know what?
I don't think he even knows I don't think he knows who to play, does he? Or if he does, he's not playing the right.
I just don't think his heart's in it anymore. No. And do you know what? After, as much as I loved Antonio Conte and I was very, very passionate and would always give him a like huge defence on this channel, I was so upset with what happened last week against Tottenham. It cut me so deep.
It wasn't good.
That I just think he needs to go now. I'm so grateful for what happened last season. It was an incredible year. We accrued 93 points. We won 30 out of 38 games. All of that, thank you, Antonio. But you have to go now. And one of the main reasons that you have to go is because we can't win this cup with him in charge. I'm convinced we can't win it at the moment. Yeah. If we make a change, if you try something, I mean, what is a different thing? I mean, if anyone has any suggestions here, but I mean, just off the top of my head, potentially Ancelotti, get him in now. Yeah. Potentially a former legend of the club. Potentially Jody Morris. Potentially Hiddink. Somebody to just come in, steer us on the right direction, and make victory at Wembley a possibility. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's important. I mean, we should be winning a trophy. We should be winning a trophy every season, at least one, if not a couple. You know, so. Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs that we have to say that he needs to go, but unfortunately it's true. And let's just hope that the FA Cup is a trophy we can win. And let's face it, you know what? To be fair, I'll end on this point. I wouldn't be so worried if we were, a good team, because the bottom half of the table, those sorts of teams in these sorts of games, in these semi-finals and these finals, will turn up. They'll be extra motivated for it. They'll want to win it. That's what they've got to play for. For them to have that sort of mentality, and for us not to be on form, and for us not to have a manager that really wants to be at the club is just slightly worrying. Otherwise, I don't think we'd be that worried. Yeah, I agree with all of that. Anyway, next point. The plan for next year. Well, this is it. Point four is the most important one. The plan for next year is probably about 50 pages long. It's repairing all the damage. We really do have to learn from our mistakes of previous seasons and act early in the transfer market. Get the players that we want, get them signed up, get the players that are currently at the club with issues on their contract, get them locked in. We need to be fully focused for next year. Whoever the new manager is going to be, whether it's Allegri, whether it's Jardim, whether it's anyone else, get them locked in. Somebody like Allegri, Jardim, when they come in, they need to come in and have the players at their disposal that they want early. We can't be caught short, and also we need to really go for it in the transfer market. We have so much to improve upon, and when you look at what we've done recently, when you look at Danny Drinkwater, when you look at Davide Zappacosta, whatever you think about them and however good a player you think they aren't the required standard, I'm afraid. And we have to make sure that we put it right this summer. I said in my live yesterday, I said, it's okay to bring in players like Danny Drinkwater if you've already got a really stable first 11, and you can sort of ease these players in and make them better players. There's no way Danny Drinkwater can come into the side now and make us 10 times better. It's not going to happen. Yeah, he's not a player that can completely change the shape and the dynamic of a team. He's a player that could perhaps come in and enhance an already brilliant team. Yeah, exactly. But I completely agree. It's too much to ask, too much pressure on that player anyway. And we need I think, don't hate me, I think Bakayoko needs a bit more time. I really do. I think that people have made their mind up about him far too early. He was brilliant for Monaco. He's young, he's in a new league, so let's give him a go. Yeah. But we need some reinforcements here, because Fabregas isn't the man we think he is. Fabregas and Kante doesn't work as it should. No. And we need this summer to be a genius summer. People were asking me yesterday, would you have Ramirez and Kante together? Yes. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. Yeah, it's a great idea. I'd love to have him back at the club. Yeah, it would be absolutely fantastic. Okay then, right, next point and final point. Most important point to me, actually. I know, you love him, don't you? Yeah, should Azpilicueta be captain? Now, what I will say on this is Gary Cahill
he's not all bad. He has done some good for the club. You know, let's put that out there. And he does get so much stick. And yeah, was he at fault for the goal yesterday? Apparently so.
Like Cahill can't play in the middle of a back three, but this is back to Antonio Conte picking him there.
Yeah, do you know what I think it is? I think with Azpilicueta, I think it'd be fine to have Cahill as captain if there wasn't anybody else who had been at the club long enough, or you know what? I mean, I wouldn't even choose Hazard to be captain, but Dave, he's clearly the more qualified player to do the job, and just simple things like, you know, when he scored his goal yesterday, he wants to play for ChelseaFC, and he's so underrated. I said he should just be given like you know, a recognition award, because he always gets beat out by, you know, Conte or Hazard every year, or you know, whatever. But he's our solid person at the back. You know, after Ivanovic went to crap, you know, even though he was great for years, you know, the minute that sort of went downhill, if we hadn't had Dave, who the hell would we have?
Yeah, look, so I think
a disaster.
The obvious point to make here as well is Gary Cahill is our captain. Gary Cahill's not in our starting lineup, so of course he's not. Of course he shouldn't be captain. Cesar Azpilicueta is the first name on the team sheet. Cesar Azpilicueta will play every game that he is fit for.
Yeah.
So make him captain. I think he has all the right attributes. I think he wants it, which is mightily important. And I think that you could kind of imagine him leading a ferocious team out.
Yeah, and do you know what the frustrating thing is at the moment? I think all fans say it, there's no heart really in the team. There's not really that core player like a JT, like a Frank Lampard, like a Didier Drogba, whoever, you know, that really, really understands what it means to wear a blue shirt. And I think Dave is the closest thing that we have to that. If not, he is one of those. And if we had him as our captain, maybe he would install something else in the team that we're not seeing at the moment.
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay, comment below. What are your 5 things that need to happen now? Have we missed anything out? I'm sure there's a couple of things that we haven't mentioned. There's probably like a long list, more like a book. But yeah, comment below. Let us know your thoughts. Do you think Azpilicueta should be captain? Who would you like to see of the youth playing up until the end of the season? And yeah, fingers crossed we can win the FA Cup.